King Solomon was a very rich man. Whatever he wanted, he could get. There was no limitation. Well, one day, King Solomon overheard Benaiah talking to a palace guard and saying, whatever King Solomon wants, I can get him like that. And King Solomon thought he might be up for a little lesson in humility. And so he called Benaiah to him and he said, listen, Benaiah, I've got a task for you. I want you to get me an object that makes happy people sad and sad people happy. Benaiah said, I shall do it right away, Your Majesty. And King Solomon said, you've got 6 months. And he smiled to himself because, of course, there was no such object. This was a test. But off went Benaiah with his heart full, waiting to fulfill the task of the king. And he went from place to place. He went from city to city, town to town. He went to ask all the silversmiths and the goldsmiths and the caravanners and the merchants, do you know of an object that makes happy people sad and sad people happy? Well, they didn't. So he thought, well, there must be in another port. So he got on ships and he rode from one port to another, asking all the people that he could see, do you know of this object? But 6 months passed and Benaiah could see that he had failed in his task. And feeling very dejected, he knew he had to return to Jerusalem. And as he was going down to meet the ship that was to take him there was a little boy just playing in the dust on the street. And, Benaiah didn't want to leave one stone unturned. And so he said to the little boy, listen, little boy, do you know of an object that makes happy people sad and sad people happy? Well, he didn't, but inside the shop that he was sitting outside was his grandfather. And his grandfather beckoned Benaiah to him. And he took from in front of him a gold ring. And inside that gold ring, he inscribed some words. And then he carefully offered that ring to Benaiah and said, is this what you're looking for? And Benaiah took the ring and read the words that had been inscribed inside. And he knew he had found it. This is the object. He got on the ship. He went to Jerusalem, into the temple, where there was a party going on, and King Solomon was full of mirth. And when he saw Benaiah, he said, I'll just make him admit he couldn't find it, and I'll tell him it was a test. And then Benaiah came before him, bowed low, and he said, Your Majesty. And King Solomon took the ring and read the words inside. And he knew that, in fact, Benaiah had found what he had asked him to find. That everything he had amassed, the temple itself, would one day come to nothing. Because inside that ring were the words, Gamzeh Ya'avor, which means, this too shall pass. Words that make a happy person sad and a sad person happy. And King Solomon put that ring on his finger, which I have the same ring. It says, Gamzeh Ya'avor, Gamzeh Ya'avor. And he always wore that ring, as I do. And it always reminded him to have balance and wisdom. And so may it do for you.